or sense who you are.
Hello. We're going to go ahead and write with Ram Dass. Ram Dass is the name of the YouTube channel.
Prior
From
to
separation
that,
to source.
between incarnations, you saw that moment. But now, it is right in the middle of the incarnation. That happens.
Working on chapter 8 of Obsidian Swan.
Wow. So that's the way it is. It's the moment when you see that who you thought you were is not in fact who you are. It's just who you think you are. That moment of awakening may have come in that particular lifetime through a traumatic experience, through a crisis, through a death in the family, through falling through space, through a motorcycle accident. It could come at a moment of sexual orgasm. It could come as you're approaching death. It could come at the birth of your child. It could come when the despair and depression get deep because you see the emptiness of the entire game you've been playing. There are many, many, many conditions. When you are ready for that to happen, a leaf falling could do it. It's called the initial Satori experience in Zen. It's the moment in which there is a moment of clarity and you see through the dance. Actually, in a lifetime, there are many, many of those moments for everyone. But most people at 4 o'clock, 4:30, 5:30 are busy denying those because they don't fit in with the model you have of who you are. If you're coming up with me, just take another deep breath and let's go a little higher. An article last year in the New York Times, Sunday magazine section, and it said it was a study of mysticism in America. It turned out that two-fifths of the population of the United States, a sampling showed that 2/5 of the population of the United States had had at some time in their life a genuine, transcendent, mystical experience, an experience of breaking through who they thought they were. That's pretty impressive. That's like more than 40 million people. Of those 2/5, a sampling of those 2/5 showed that 85% of them said, "It was the most profound experience of my life, and I never want to have another one." Of course not, because it upsets the apple cart. You afraid you're going insane? You're going to flip out. Because you think you need to be who you think you are in order to keep the game going smoothly, to keep your ground. It's scary. It's like waking up out of a dream that most of you have had and being disoriented, not knowing where you are. Or the lights go up in a movie theater and you can't figure out where you are. You're disoriented for a moment. And then you say, "Now I know, I'm back." Even as higher being as somebody like Carl Jung, in Memories, Dreams, and Reflections, said, "I went into these extraordinary realms. I was so happy to come back to my wife and family and to reality." still clinging to this as opposed to that, to this as reality. By around 7:30, you're ready to recognize you are here on earth as a soul who has taken birth in order to work through the attachments and clingings within yourself that keep you identified with your separateness, thus allowing you to once again become one with the one, or return to the source, or to know your true self. When that recognition is deep enough, the whole meaning of your life changes. And the meaning of every subsequent incarnation changes. You notice that at 4:30, you were busy being separate, and at the moment of death, because you were totally identified with your separateness, you said, I don't want to die. Stop the world. I don't want to get off. Hold on, doctor, save me. Implant, transplant, do whatever you have to do, but keep me alive. You grab the bed sheets and say, keep me alive. I don't want to die, because death is the end of it all. Because you are a philosophical materialist. You're your body, and if the body goes, you ain't. And then you're dead. Just like that. Dead. Not spiritual dead. Dead. And a voice says to you, welcome. And for most people at 4:30, in fact everybody at 4:30 says, I guess I didn't die if I'm still hearing somebody talking to me. The voice says, oh no, you did die. And you freak. Because it's so discrepant from who you thought you were, and you go into total confusion, which is often called purgatory. And you just hang in there until you're processed, programmed, re-educated, and sent back. Around 7:30, it gets different. Because now you know you aren't who you think you are every birth. So you come to death, but you're not that far on in your spiritual work. So it comes to death, and you say, no, I don't want to die, even though Ram, God, Christ, God, I don't want to die. I know it'll be all right, but I don't want to die. And you're really caught right in between. And there you are again, dead. And a voice says, welcome. And you say, I guess I didn't die, and the voice says, you did die, and you have a moment of pause, and suddenly everything you were trying to believe all your life turns out to be true. And you say, far out. And then you become a conscious, relatively conscious participant in the dance between incarnations. You see your whole trip at that moment. You see how much work you've done in all your incarnations. You meet all your old mothers and fathers by the thousands. And you see that so-and-so was your brother this time, and your lover last time, and your child that time. And there's only about 3 of us in the whole universe. And you see what work you have to do, and you say, well, gee, I'm really going to do a heavy next birth. And the Karma Council says, well, we don't advise it. You say, well, that's okay. I'm going to do it all. I want to be, I want to be born mentally retarded, and I would like to be impregnated when I'm 11, and I'd like to go blind at 14 and die at 17 or some horrible, well, if you insist. And you just burn out karma. Just go through it all. Now, if you can hear the picture I'm painting, now look at what you're in this moment. Because what you are in this moment is another one of them. It's another opportunity. It's another set of experiences. It's more grist for the mill for your soul to awaken to its true identity. When you get to understand this, then, as I said before, the meaning of your entire life changes, because from then on, you really understand it, everything in your life becomes a vehicle for awakening. It isn't just going to a lecture or meditating, it becomes all of it. And you see that the game is exquisitely designed to provide you with just the opportunities you need to burn out the ways in which you are clinging, because, as Buddha pointed out, it is the clinging that causes the suffering. It isn't living life that causes suffering. It's clinging to this or that. If you cling to health as your body decays and you can't acknowledge the decay, suffering. If you cling to being rich and you're poor, suffering. If you cling to having hair and you go bald, suffering. I used to suffer incredibly because I didn't have any hair. I used to comb it over and get long strands and wrap it around. Incredible suffering because I was trying to hold on to a model of myself as having hair. But it is what it is. And the recognition that the meaning of an incarnation is to provide a set of experiences for the soul to awaken to its true self. And now, if you will allow me to introduce a concept, which is just a concept, because what it is way beyond the concept. An incarnation is an opportunity. It's a set of choices that allow humanity to move into harmony with the will of God or away from it. It is a set of choices that allow you to return to God, which is the source, which is the undifferentiated space, which is the Garden of Eden, which is who you turn out to be. That's who you are. That's what you're doing here. If you ask yourself, what am I doing here? That's what you're doing. 1,000 times you will get lost again. You will forget what you're doing here. You'll get lost into your melodrama. You will get lost into the absolute reality of the illusion. Illusion isn't quite the right word, because it's real. This plane is as real as that plane, as that plane, as that plane. They are all relatively real. When you're in them, they're real. If you have to go to the bathroom, it's real. But many of you in this room have transcended one level of reality and experienced another level of reality. And in that other level of reality, what seemed real doesn't seem real anymore. At one level of reality, we are in Oklahoma and we are meeting in this beautiful hall. That's only one level. The reason that this level seems so real all the time is because of your attachment to your senses and to your thoughts, to your smelling, tasting, touching, feeling, and knowing. You are very attached to the particular channel on TV to which you are tuned. Very real. Between 7:30 and 11:59 is the process of slowly awakening. Birth after birth or within a birth. The process of becoming more and more conscious of your predicament and less attached to this or that, to samsara or nirvana, to illusion or enlightenment. And what is the process of liberation? Liberation means being liberated from the clinging to any single reality as the reality. There is nowhere to stand. Here we are, nowhere to stand. And everything you notice, hear, for example, if you are listening to my words now and forgetting to rise in your being and tune to your soul, you are attached to the level of reality that is fed by your intellect. To some of you, these words are just like bzzz, background noise. You and I are moving higher and higher into space of more and more clarity and quietness, openness and spaciousness. That's also planes of reality. A liberated being is both rising spiritually, heart open in love, totally aware at the level of the intellect, physically aware of your body and where you're sitting and all of your pains and aches and pleasures. All of it at the same time. Not clinging to this or that. Not spacing out. Not coming down. Going up and coming down is not liberation. It's a roller coaster. Finally, a conscious being is here, and here includes up and down. From 6 to 7:30, you spend lifetimes trying to get high in order to remember what it is you keep forgetting. By around 8 o'clock, you don't forget very often, and then you are just eager to get on with it. And when you are eager to get on with it, you are less attached to your highs, for your highs and lows are all grist for the mill. And in fact, your lows teach you more than your highs. Well, that isn't true. Your highs teach you about other planes of reality. Your lows teach you about what's keeping you stuck in this particular reality. You must understand, and this is the issue of social responsibility, the object of the dance of enlightenment, of coming to God, is not to lose the incarnation, is not to realize God and forget humanity. For the formless and the form are two different faces of God. And if you deny your incarnation in order to go to God, you don't know God fully. If you want perfection in your spiritual journey, you must both honor your incarnation and become totally free of it. You must both look up and recognize that beyond form lies formlessness, and that even within form lies the perfection of the design of things, the natural law, the Tao, the way of things. And when you look up, you are awed by the perfection of the work of God. The perfection that includes not only the stars and the planets and the creation of humanity, but that perfection includes the suffering and the violence and the starvation and the paranoia and the ecological destruction, as well as the flower and the butterfly. But if you only see the perfection, then you lose humanity. For you cannot stay in such a clear light if you had to close your heart to do it and expect to be fully with God. Before you looked up at 601, you were only looking down and out, and all you saw everywhere was suffering. All forms have inherent within them suffering because they are in time and space, and they are subject to change and decay. It is just the way of things. And there is suffering. And your heart bled for that suffering. And sometimes it was unbearable, and you had to harden your heart because you couldn't bear the suffering. And you looked up, or you went inside, and you started to experience deeper peace and higher consciousness. You felt the perfection of the universe. And in that clarity, all of the horror and the suffering fell into place. And you were up in the heights of the Himalayas, dancing in the pure white snow. But if you're going the whole journey, then you must look down again. And when you look down, you see that there is blood upon the snow. There is the bleeding heart of Jesus. There is the suffering of all sentient beings. It is a strong and conscious and clear and liberated being who can simultaneously look up and look down. Who can, with an open heart, experience the unbearable compassion, unbearable compassion, and at the same moment look up and see the exquisiteness of the perfection. Such a being is in a position to liberate other beings from suffering. For such a being who knows God and remains on earth or on any plane of reality, every act that is performed for such a being, every act that is performed in relation to another human being creates the optimum conditions for that other being to be liberated from the attachment to their own suffering. For at the same moment, if you are hungry and I feed you, I am feeding your belly. But if I am only attached to being the giver of the food, that environment creates a reality in which you are only the receiver of the food. If, however, I am giving you the food, but at the same moment I am in a space in which there is no giving, nor any receiving, for we are here, we always were here, and we always will be here, and this is merely the particular round of the melodrama we are playing out together. Now when I give you that food, since there is no giver, you are not forced to become the receiver. There can be giving and receiving on one level of reality, no giving and no receiving on another. And you and I can simultaneously live in both of them. Now we are becoming conscious. Now we are moving towards liberation. Now we are getting less lost in the emotionality of the dance. Now we can look about ourselves in this incarnation and see what our capabilities are as incarnated beings to end suffering. And we can accept our dharma, our way, and do it as a vehicle for remaining in the perfection of the will of God.
All right, that'll be enough for this morning. I've got other stuff I gotta go do. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to Ram Dass with me. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and a wonderful life. Sorry I don't talk much. Peace, love, have a great day. Bye.